In 1822, a stranger checked into a small Virginia inn. He left behind an iron box. Inside were 3 encrypted documents. And according to those papers, they described one of the largest hidden treasure hoards in American history. Gold, silver, jewels, worth tens of millions today. 200 years later, no one has found it, and no one has cracked the codes. This is the story of the Beale Ciphers. What if the treasure was never the mystery? What if the ciphers themselves were the real secret? The story begins with a man named Thomas J. Beale. In 1820, Beale reportedly stayed at an inn in Lynchburg, Virginia. Before leaving town, he entrusted a locked metal box to the innkeeper. Inside were papers he instructed not to open unless Beale failed to return within 10 years. Beale never came back. When the box was finally opened, it revealed 3 ciphered documents, each one made of hundreds of numbers. No plain text. No obvious key, just codes. And one chilling promise. They described the location, contents, and heirs of a massive buried treasure. But there was one problem. Everything was encrypted. The documents became known as Cipher 1, describing the treasure's location, Cipher 2 detailing its contents, and Cipher 3 listing the heirs. For decades, they remained unreadable. Until someone made a breakthrough. Cipher 2 was finally solved using the United States Declaration of Independence as a key. Each number corresponded to a word in the document. And when decoded, it revealed something astonishing. 1,014 pounds of gold, 3,812 pounds of silver, and jewels stored in iron pots. The modern value? Tens of millions of dollars. But here's the twist. Only Cipher 2 was ever cracked. Cipher 1, the location, remains unsolved. Cipher 3, the names of heirs, also unsolved. Without Cipher 1, the treasure cannot be found. They solved the inventory, but not the map. The story became public in 1885 when a pamphlet titled The Beale Papers was anonymously published. It claimed to contain the full account. Since then, thousands of treasure hunters, cryptographers, and historians have tried to solve it. None have succeeded. Not professionals. Not the NSA. Not modern AI systems. Cipher 1 has resisted every known technique. So naturally, people began asking, what if this was all a hoax? Some scholars believe the entire story was fabricated. They point to the fact there are no independent records of a Thomas Beale, no verified mining expedition matching his story, and strange literary similarities between the decoded text of Cipher 2 and the pamphlet's own writing style. But others argue that Cipher 2 works too cleanly to be accidental. The numerical system shows intentional cryptographic structure, and early witnesses testified to the existence of the box itself. No definitive proof exists either way. Which places the Beale ciphers in a rare category, a mystery balanced perfectly between folklore and mathematics. If it's fake, it's one of the most elaborate literary hoaxes in American history. If it's real, the treasure is still out there. In recent decades, computers have joined the hunt. Researchers have tried everything: statistical pattern analysis, brute force dictionary attacks, historical document matching, and even advanced machine learning models. Nothing works. Cipher 1 refuses to yield. Some believe the original key document has been lost to time. Others think the cipher was deliberately altered to make it unsolvable. Or maybe Cipher 2 was released just to give the story credibility, while Cipher 1 hides something else entirely. Because what kind of treasure leaves its inventory but not its location? For over 2 centuries, the Beale ciphers have resisted every mine that touched them. No verified treasure. No solved location. Only numbers. Waiting. Maybe there really is gold buried somewhere in the hills of Virginia. Or maybe the real treasure was always the puzzle itself. A cipher designed not to be solved, but to endure. Because some mysteries aren't meant to be uncovered. They're meant to survive history. The Beale ciphers aren't asking to be decoded. They're daring us to try. Thanks for watching. If you're fascinated by unsolved codes and lost history, be sure to subscribe for more fact-based mysteries.